You know what's wild? Your liver's literally turning that innocent-looking bowl of pasta into pure fat right now. Yeah, I'm serious. Even if you're dodging butter like it's your ex at the grocery store, munching on bagels, rice, and those healthy fruit juices is making your liver churn out fat like a factory on overtime. It's called de novo lipogenesis. Fancy words for your liver's become a fat-making machine, and you didn't even know why your belly won't budge. Here's the kicker. It's not just about the fat piling up. The chronic inflammation tagging along? That's the real saboteur stealing your health and keeping those pounds glued on. But what if I told you there's a handful of foods that flip the script? Foods that shut down that fat production and fire up the burn instead. Today, I'm Dr. André Wambier, and I'll walk you through the 12 healthiest, nearly zero-carb, zero-sugar powerhouses that'll nourish your cells, cool down that inflammation, torch fat, and, bonus round, clean out your liver. And stick around till the end. 'Cause food number one? It's the one everybody's still scared of because of outdated nonsense, but it's actually a superhero for your hormones and brain. You won't believe it. But first, smash that like button, subscribe so you don't miss our health tips, and hit the bell for notifications. And hey, spread the love. Share this with your friends and family. You'll be helping more people. So go ahead and share it. And tell me, which of these foods do you already eat? Where are you watching from? What corner of Brazil or the world? Drop it in the comments below. Now, before we dive into our list, here's the deal. When we say no carbs, we're talking mainly about cutting out starches and sugars. The goal? Foods that won't spike your blood sugar and insulin. That hormonal stability is what unlocks your body to start using fat as fuel. A game changer for weight loss and crushing chronic inflammation. Let's kick things off with the king of healthy fats, the avocado. This creamy green gem's loaded with monounsaturated fats that keep your cells humming with energy. Plus, it's packing more potassium than a banana, tons of magnesium, and this cool compound called avocado B that helps balance your hormones and boost insulin sensitivity. And here's some hot-off-the-press news. A brand new study from February 2025 just proved that eating one avocado a day can seriously level up your sleep quality. No joke. It was the biggest avocado study ever done, and the results? Mind-blowing. Why does this matter so much? Because the American Heart Association now recognizes sleep as one of the 8 essential pillars for cardiovascular health. Good sleep protects your heart. But how's the avocado pulling this off? It's stacked with sleep-boosting nutrients. Magnesium that relaxes your muscles, folate and tryptophan. The raw materials your body uses to make melatonin, our sleep hormone. On top of that, the study confirmed what we already suspected. It helps slash bad LDL cholesterol, thanks to its fiber and those gorgeous monounsaturated fats. Now, if you prep your avocado with some olive oil, you're taking it to the next level. Why? Olive oil's packed with anti-inflammatory compounds like oleocanthal, which works like ibuprofen, easing pain, swelling, and joint inflammation. Toss avocado in salads, blend it into smoothies, or use it as a base for homemade mayo. And drizzle your dishes generously with quality extra virgin olive oil whenever you can, especially after cooking. But here's the thing. There's no point investing in these healthy fats if you're ignoring one of the most powerful, affordable omega-3 sources out there, where most people literally throw away the most valuable nutrient without even realizing it. I'm talking about our next one. Now let's talk about a true cost-benefit champion, a superfood everyone can afford, canned sardines. A lot of folks wrinkle their noses, but I'm about to prove why this is one of the best things you can throw into your diet. First question I always get, but Doc, what about the oil in the can? We throw that out, right? That stuff's bad. And I say myth. Actually, the opposite. Studies done right here in Brazil showed that the most precious nutrients in sardines, like that famous omega-3, the EPA and DHA your brain and heart crave, migrate from the fish into the oil during the canning process. Tossing that oil down the drain is literally flushing nutrients away. But what about heavy metals? Relax. Anvisa and Inmetro have super strict regulations, and testing guarantees the levels are totally safe for consumption, considering both the fish and oil together. Sardines are a nutrient bomb. Besides that omega-3, which is a crazy powerful anti-inflammatory, they're loaded with calcium. Since they're cooked with the bones, which get super soft, 60 grams of sardines can have the calcium equivalent of a glass of milk. And obviously, it's a fantastic source of protein that keeps you full, plus vitamin B12, essential for your energy. So how do you maximize all this? Next time you're making a pie, a pâté, or an omelette, instead of using soybean oil, use the oil from the sardine can itself. You'll enrich the recipe with flavor and a ton of omega-3. And if your budget allows, the version preserved in extra virgin olive oil is even better. If sardines are an anti-inflammatory powerhouse, our next food works completely differently. It acts like a true general for our immune system, helping our defense cells attack enemies, and the science about its power against serious diseases is brand new. That's our. Did you know mushrooms are actually fungi? But we cook them like vegetables, and lucky us. They're crammed with nutrients, add this incredible savory flavor known as umami to dishes, and all that with practically 0 calories or carbs. But the benefits go way beyond. And now we've got cutting-edge science to back it up. A spectacular study published at the end of 2024 by researchers from City of Hope, one of the biggest cancer research centers in the USA, brought an incredible discovery about our familiar white button mushroom. The study showed that eating white mushrooms has huge potential to slow down and even prevent the progression of prostate cancer. And the most fascinating part, they figured out why. Mushrooms help decrease a type of bad defense cell that messes with our immune system. With fewer of these bad cells, our good defense cells, our soldiers, get a clear path to attack and destroy diseased cells. It's a perfect example of food as medicine. The scientists themselves from the study make an important warning. The research is ongoing, and nobody should go popping mushroom supplements without medical guidance. But they concluded with a phrase I totally stand behind. It wouldn't hurt at all if people wanted to add more fresh white mushrooms to their daily diet. So go ahead and include button mushrooms, portobello, shiitake, sautéed in olive oil and garlic. They're a powerful side dish and, as we now know, a true protector of our health, especially for men. But if protecting cells is crucial, building and repairing everything else in the body is fundamental. And for that, we need a protein source that was unfairly demonized for decades because of a cholesterol myth that science already debunked. You probably already guessed what our next one is. For many nutritionists, eggs are gold in food form. They're one of the most affordable and versatile protein sources that exist. But for decades, they carried a guilt that wasn't theirs to bear. The question I hear most in my office is, "Doctor, I've got high cholesterol, can I eat eggs?" And the answer is yes. The most modern science, including cardiologists from centers like Cedars-Sinai in the USA, confirms the cholesterol you eat in eggs isn't the main culprit raising the bad LDL cholesterol in your blood. The real villain making your liver produce more LDL cholesterol is excessive consumption of saturated fat and refined carbs. And eggs have very little saturated fat. In other words, the problem was never the egg itself. Plus, eggs are a complete protein source, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids our body needs to build muscle and repair tissue. And we can't forget about choline, a vital nutrient for the brain, memory, and liver health that's concentrated in the yolk. That's why you should eat the whole egg. Now, here's the most important advice of all. The problem isn't the egg, it's what you put on the plate with it. There's no point eating a fried egg in soybean oil with bacon, sausage, and white bread. That combination is a bad fat bomb. The right way: boiled, poached, or scrambled eggs with a drizzle of olive oil. Pair them with avocado, tomato, leafy greens. That's the meal that protects your heart. Now that you know how to consume the perfect protein, you need to pair it with the GPS of nutrients. Our next food is the absolute champion in a vitamin that works like a traffic system, pulling calcium out of your arteries and putting it where it belongs, in your bones. And that's our. Kale is a true Swiss Army knife of vegetables. It's a nutritional powerhouse, and recent science shows us exactly why. For your bones. First off, kale is one of the biggest sources of vitamin K on the planet. A single cup of cooked kale has over 400% of your daily requirement. Vitamin K is fundamental for directing calcium and strengthening our bones, and lacking it is linked to a higher risk of fractures. For your vision. Did you know kale can protect your eyes? It's rich in lutein, an antioxidant that concentrates in your retina and helps filter harmful light, protecting against macular degeneration, one of the main causes of vision loss with age. For your heart and defenses. Kale contains a powerful compound called sulforaphane. Studies show that sulforaphane helps protect cardiovascular health and has potential, still under research, to inhibit the growth of cells in certain types of cancer. Now, when I say kale strengthens bones because of vitamin K, I need to open a parenthesis here because this story is fascinating and more complex than it seems. Did you know there are actually two main types of vitamin K? K1 and K2. Think of them as a dynamic duo, a team. Vitamin K1, called phylloquinone, is the form we find in plants. Kale is one of the richest sources. K1's main function happens in the liver, where it's a master of blood clotting. It's what helps stop bleeding when you get a cut. Vitamin K2, or menaquinone, is the real star when it comes to bone and heart health. It acts outside the liver. K2 is mainly produced by bacteria, which is why the best food sources are fermented foods like natto, a Japanese fermented soy, and some cheeses. Okay, doc, but then how does kale, which has K1, help bones so much if K2 is the star? Here's the magic of our body. It can take part of the vitamin K1 you eat in kale and convert it into a form of vitamin K2, specifically negative for Malawian quatches. And what does this K2 do? It works like a GPS for calcium. Vitamin K2 activates a protein called osteocalcin. Once activated, osteocalcin grabs the calcium circulating in your blood and glues it to the bone matrix, making your bones denser and stronger. Without enough K2, calcium can end up depositing in the wrong place, like your arteries. So by eating kale, you're providing the raw material K1 for your body not only to regulate clotting but also to produce the K2 needed to build strong bones and keep arteries clean. It's a perfect system. But as your doctor, I need to be responsible and give two important warnings about excessive consumption, especially of raw kale. First, for those using anticoagulants, if you take medications like warfarin, Coumadin, you need to talk with your doctor before significantly increasing kale consumption. The super high amount of vitamin K can interfere with the medication's effect. Second, about the thyroid. In people with predisposition and in very large raw amounts, kale can interfere with thyroid function. The good news? Cooking, sautéing, or even blanching kale already greatly reduces this effect. So what's the best way to consume it? Sautéed with garlic and olive oil is a delicious and safe method that addresses the thyroid issue. Adding it to soups, stews, or making kale chips in the oven are great ways to enjoy this superfood without risks. If kale is the GPS of minerals, our next item is the brick for body construction. It's the most bioavailable source of iron and protein, essential for fighting fatigue and building strong muscles. But heads up, quality here makes all the difference. We're talking about. Now, here's a powerful nutrient source. If you want to build muscle, have more energy, and feel strong, high-quality meats, especially from pasture-raised animals, are fantastic. Think beef, lamb, and even organ meats like liver. They're packed with high biological value protein, which is essential for muscle repair and building. Plus, they're the best sources of heme iron, which fights anemia and fatigue, and vitamin B12, crucial for energy and brain health. Quality is key. Go for grass-fed meats whenever possible. They've got a better fat profile, with more omega-3, anti-inflammatory, and less omega-6, pro-inflammatory, compared to grain-fed animals. A strong meal like this calls for a smart complement, especially for that moment when the craving for something sweet hits. And our next food is the perfect snack. Crunchy, delicious, and with an incredible ability to put the brakes on sugar cravings. These are. If you need a crunchy, satisfying snack, pecan nuts are one of your best bets. They've got an incredibly low amount of net carbs and are rich in soluble fiber that helps control blood sugar. They're a fantastic source of monounsaturated fats, the same ones in olive oil, that promote satiety and cardiovascular health. Plus, they're loaded with zinc, copper, and vitamin B1. A small handful after meals can help prevent sugar cravings. You can also chop them up and mix with 70% or darker chocolate, creating a delicious and healthy dessert. Speaking of satiety and good fats, we've arrived at a creamy, delicious food that carries the same GPS vitamin as kale, K2, but in an even more potent form for bones. Lots of folks think it's fattening, but when chosen right, it's a superfood. Time to talk about cheeses. Yes, cheese can be part of a healthy diet. It's an excellent source of fats and fat-soluble nutrients like vitamins A, E, D, and especially K2, which is fundamental for directing calcium to bones and teeth. It's got fatty acids and proteins that boost satiety and can improve focus and brain function. Opt for cheeses from grass-fed cows or goats whenever possible. I recommend more aged and fatty varieties like cheddar, camembert, brie, goat cheese, buffalo mozzarella, and parmesan. But there's no point loading up on all these nutrients if your body's dirty. We need the cleanup crew. And our next group of foods works exactly like that. They're the detox team for your liver, helping eliminate toxins and reduce insulin resistance. I'm talking about cruciferous vegetables. To optimize health and weight loss, it's crucial to include cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, arugula, and cabbage in your diet. Think of these vegetables as your body's detox squad. They're rich in phytochemicals like sulforaphane, which help the liver process and eliminate toxins way more efficiently. Plus, they're an incredible source of minerals like potassium and magnesium. These minerals are vital for reducing insulin resistance, the condition that makes burning fat so difficult. With a cleaner liver, now we can focus on an essential engine of our metabolism, the thyroid. And our next food group is a forgotten gem, super rich in exact minerals, like iodine and selenium, that your thyroid needs to run at full throttle. Let's dive into. Here's a food group often forgotten, but that's a true nutritional gem. Shrimp, oysters, mussels, and squid. They're pure protein sources with zero carbs, but their big differentiator is mineral density. Oysters, for example, are the top food source of zinc, essential for immunity. Other seafood are rich in iodine and selenium, crucial for thyroid health. Now that we've nourished the body and organs, let's add the master's finishing touch. The next items on our list aren't a meal but rather pills of antioxidants you can add to everything you eat, amplifying all the benefits we've seen so far and repairing your body at a cellular level. Time to talk about fresh herbs and spices. If you want to upgrade your weight loss game, go crazy with chopped fresh herbs. I'm talking mint, basil, parsley, oregano, cilantro, rosemary, and thyme. They've got no starch but are loaded with antioxidants and phytonutrients that help optimize your goals and keep blood sugar under control. And don't forget the spices. Turmeric, cinnamon, black pepper, and ginger are some of nature's most potent healers. They help repair the liver, pancreas, and digestive system. And with the whole body prepped, we've reached our surprising number one. The one I promised at the beginning. A delicious, versatile, and affordable food that was a victim of terrible nutritional prejudice, but that modern science, and even our grandmother's wisdom, already knew was a secret to energy and health. Food number one is, and we've arrived at our surprising number one. A delicious, versatile, and much more affordable food that was a victim of so much prejudice. Pork. But Doc, isn't pork super fatty and bad for you? Forget that. A pork loin can be as lean as chicken breast. And the fat it does have. It's rich in monounsaturated fats, the same healthy type as olive oil. It's no wonder our grandmothers cooked with lard, a natural and stable fat way superior to soybean and corn oils. Pork is a fantastic source of high-quality protein and one of the biggest sources of thiamine, vitamin B1, crucial for energy metabolism. Go for cuts like loin, pork tenderloin, and chops. And don't be scared of the natural fat in the cut. Just avoid processed stuff loaded with sugar and nitrites like deli ham. Oh, and before you guys ask about chicken in the comments. Yes, chicken is great. But in today's list, I wanted to focus on foods that are true powerhouses of specific nutrients and that break old nutrition myths. Chicken is the basics done well, but these 12 are the superheroes that bring extra powers. So there you have it. As you've seen, nature offers us an incredible variety of delicious, nutritious foods that don't rely on carbs and sugars. By focusing on these 12 foods, You're not only making weight loss easier, but also giving your cells the nutrients they need to de-inflame, repair themselves, and function at their maximum potential. Remember, the secret isn't starving yourself. It's choosing the right foods and, most importantly, the right combinations. Did you like the video? Remember to like and share so more people can have this knowledge. Your liver will thank you, your energy levels will soar, and those stubborn pounds? They'll finally start melting away. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.